Hi there, Andy Warwick here. I said in an earlier video that I wanted my book Killing Fever to be four things: inclusive, organic, personal and engaging. And in this video I'm going to be talking mainly about the last two of those, personal and engaging, in terms of the book's opening. Now, to make it personal, I tell the history through the eyes of one man, Hyder Khan. The narrative's written in the first person, so we see only what he sees and we know only what he knows. And I've made it personal because I wanted a voice that could critique mid-Victorian culture in the way that I wanted to, especially from the perspective of the history of science, technology and medicine. In that sense, Khan's voice is, of course, my voice. It's a critique by an historian and philosopher of science from the early 21st century. This isn't a story the mid-Victorians would have told about themselves. They didn't write like this, and they didn't think of themselves in this way. So to voice this critique in the 1850s, I invented an outsider, a young Bengali alienated by empire. You can find out how I did that in the video of my book launch in Oxford, and I'll put a link below. Now, I've written Killing Fever as a thriller to make it engaging, because it's a popular page-turning style. But that also means I use that genre as an historical method to organise my material. So how does that work? Well, thrillers tend to start with a killing, a dead body. It's an effective formula because sudden death is disturbing and mysterious, and the book is then an intriguing explanation of how it happened. The reader knows that by pulling on the loose thread of murder, you'll unravel a much bigger story. Killing Fever starts with an apothecary lying dead in the basement of his London shop, and it builds to a story of global corruption that almost wrecks the British Empire. But the mechanics of that first step, the killer opening, are intricate. Like learning to drive a car, a lot of very complicated things have to happen at the same time. And we start by introducing our sleuth and putting him in jeopardy. I begin with my hero Hyder Khan in a London jail, condemned for murder, watching them build his gallows in the yard outside. We know he's innocent, so who wants him dead and why? That's a mystery to keep you turning the pages. Khan's accused of killing Henry Bullock, a druggist. To make that significant, the reader has to care about the corpse, has to feel they knew him. To that end, I made Bullock Khan's friend and benefactor. When Khan finds the body, he's deeply upset. As a forensic chemist, he's seen death often enough, but this is different. It's personal. His reaction makes Bullock a real person too. And when Khan's condemned, it's a double injustice. He'll be remembered as a criminal who tortured and killed an old friend. Khan's then arrested and taken to the City of London police station for interrogation. And this is a classic trick in the thriller genre, because interrogation is a great opportunity to do several things at once. You can introduce new characters, you can lay out the mystery to be solved, you can start learning more about your hero's backstory, and you can learn something about his character by the way he responds to interrogation. And hopefully by this point the reader's hooked. But this is a historical thriller, and so we need to establish the time and place, and we need to start using the thriller structure to organise our historical material. Now, I'm especially interested in the history of science and technology, so let's begin with tech. A machine that figures large in the opening chapter of Killing Fever is a Price's double-door safe. The rapid rise of commercial capitalism in the mid-19th century meant people had increasing numbers of valuable items and documents, deeds, certificates, bonds, insurance, stocks and shares, cash, that they wanted to protect from theft and fire. When Khan finds Henry Bullock dead, he suspects his killers tried to force him to open the pick-proof, gunpowder-proof, fireproof safe. And it seems Henry gave his life rather than hand over the safe's contents. So the murder mystery lets us link an 1850s safe, a commodity of the new manufacturing culture, with the motives of Bullock, his killers and Hyder Khan, and begins to evoke a wider world of British manufacture, capital and empire. What about science? I made Hyder Khan a forensic chemist trained in Bengal by the Dr. William O'Shaughnessy, a pioneer of the use of medical cannabis. This expertise made Khan not just a partial insider to British culture, an informed guide, but gives him agency as an imperial subject, because he can do a kind of magic, reveal secrets others want to keep hidden. Forensic science was advanced in Calcutta by men like O'Shaughnessy because British officials, surrounded by a huge native population they hardly understood, treated the alien culture as devious and dishonest. The huge rural landscape they managed also meant evidence could degrade or be taken by animals, which prompted the use of new techniques like photography to record supposed criminals and scenes of crime for subsequent analysis and use as evidence. So although disempowered as a native Bengali, Khan's ability to better Scotland Yard gives him a powerful edge. And the history of forensic science is brought alive in the plot as it's what saves him from execution and keeps him ahead of the rest in solving the mystery. So that's how I've used the thriller medium to synthesize a mass of primary source material into a form of global history that's personal and engaging and foregrounds the history of science, technology and medicine in an organic way. If you'd like to see how I put it all together to write what I hope is a killer opening, you can read the first chapter on my website, cybervictoriana.com, and you can get the book from Virtuoso Press at thevirtuosopress.com or on Amazon. Next time I'll talk about how to maintain the pace and the reader's interest after the killer opening, and that'll take me into the global history of medicine. Hope to see you there. Bye for now.